Oh, hi, Mark. All right, so if you read the title of this video, this is going to be a collection overview or a shelf by shelf sort of thing. Um, if you hear sounds in the background that sound like someone gumming a bowl of oatmeal, don't be concerned. It's my dog. I swear to God, it's my dog. That'll be the sound. Uh, and kind of have to have him in the room with me because he's a wee bit attached. Um. Anyway, let's start on the shelf by shelf. So, first up here we got Three from Hell. I think that's Rob Zombie's newest film. Um, you know, I like Three from Hell. I will say I was a little let down by it. Um, it's not near as good as House of a Thousand Corpses or The Devil's Rejects. It is enjoyable though. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that Three from Hell isn't worth the watch, but it's not as good as I was hoping. Um, I'm actually gonna take that out, put it up here. That way, I have a little room to maneuver in here. And then we have, and these are organized alphabetically, by the way, so don't question my methods. We have this 10 movie original cult classics pack. It's actually a pretty good pack. It's got Night of the Living Dead up there, which Night of the Living Dead and House on Haunted Hill are like the two movies that every company and their mother puts out because they can, because they're like the most famous public domain films of all time. Um, but then we have some less kind of common stuff. We actually have Little Shop of Horrors on here, the one with Jack Nicholson. That's a pretty fun film. I think I've only seen that one once, way back a while ago, and way back in the day. I do remember actually laughing pretty hard at a couple of the scenes, which is surprising because I think the movie came out in like 1960 or 1961. So it is a little surprising. Sorry, I'm gonna have to keep adjusting here. So, The Bat is another really fun movie that's on this pack, and actually I'm gonna just kind of leave it like that because that gets tiresome on the old arm there. But yeah, the Bat in there, pretty good flick. It's probably my favorite Vincent Price flick at this time, but I have it on a separate release. I have it over in my box set collection, which will not be covered on this particular video. But yeah, The Bat's really good. And then, of course, everyone knows Carnival of Souls. Carnival of Souls is great. Maniac, that's the one from, I think it's 1934. It's not the greatest film of all time, but it's kind of fun. I shouldn't call it fun because if I'm being entirely honest, I don't think I've ever sat down and watched Maniac without falling asleep. But then we have Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price, and that is a film that actually, for whatever reason, I find it highly soothing. Don't know why. It's one of those films that I can just watch and it's just relaxing to me. It's also kind of spoopy though. It's kind of spooky and it's really kind of tragic. Good stuff though. Very dramatic. Anywho, 100 Tears. This is a slasher movie from sometime in the 2000s. It's really kind of low budget. Marcus Koch, I think is the director's name. He's I know nothing else about him other than that he directed this film. But I'll tell you what, this film is pretty subpar as a film, but the kills in it are outstanding. And there's a ton of them. There's like 30 kills in this movie. And I'm not gonna say that it's not worth, not worth watching other than the kills, because I actually do get a kick out of some of the characters in this movie. But yeah, 100 Tears, pretty good. 11, 11, 11. I'm gonna level with you guys. I haven't seen this film since junior high. I watched this in junior high back in the day. Have not seen it since. I don't remember it being good. You might be wondering, why did I buy it? Kind of wondering that myself. At Death's Door, 13 Fright-Filled Films. It's there because the number 13 on the spine, 13 is what shows up first. Yeah, it's a decent little collection of films. It has, I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's got like Carnage on it, which was a fun little ghost film, and then Kathy's Curse, which was that was an interesting film, and then Funeral Home, which is basically a Psycho ripoff. Lurkers, which is a pretty interesting one. Don't Look in the Basement, which I also haven't seen since junior high. We're talking early junior high there. Terror Creatures from the Grave. I don't remember that film at all. I know I've seen it though. And then do the next. Oop. Way to spoil it, Jack Wagon. Alright, there we go. Just kind of let it peek out like that. 1408. This is actually one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations. I know one of the endings gets shat on quite a bit, and I think that's actually the ending that I like. The ending that I like, I don't know if it's the theatrical or the alternate ending, but I do know it's the ending where Mike Enslin lives, because to me that just feels less cliche horror, even though that's the happy ending, and that's of course more cliche in general. I don't know, it feels less cliche horror in the sense that it's not really like, in the death ending, there's this cheap little jump scare, and it didn't really make any sense to me that they decided to include the jump scare, because it's like I don't know. It was in the back of Samuel L. Jackson's car, and, Mike Enslin just pops up in the back of Samuel L. Jackson's car, and I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me. Just because the spirits in the dolphin all seem to be attached to the dolphin, and so it's not really, I don't know, it doesn't have much continuity. Not continuity. You guys know what I mean, though. Like, it's very contradictory. But then at the same time, I guess so is the other ending, because it suggests that Mike Enslin's daughter gets attached. But then again, Mike Enslin's daughter wasn't really attached to the room. God, I'm racking my brain about this movie, but it's a really good film, though. I really enjoy 1408. 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later, unpopular opinion. I prefer 28 Weeks Later. I don't love either of these films, but out of the two, I do prefer 28 Weeks Later. Just, it's more action-packed. Yeah, I don't know. Something about 28 Weeks Later, I really just do prefer over 28 Days. 30 Days of Night. I've only seen this film once. So I'm not remembering it super well. What I do remember is that it's pretty good. But, I mean, overall, I'm not huge on the film, obviously, because I've only seen it once. It's not my favorite vampire film, but I could see why people love it. Oop. And 31. This movie's got a lot of haters, and I am not among them. I actually think 31's a pretty fun time. I do agree this is some of Rob Zombie's weaker stuff. I don't think it's as good as Rob Zombie's other films, but I do think it's fun. Plus, it has this guy right here. That's hilarious. So yeah, 31, pretty good stuff. So the 4-film pack, of course, this is there because it's 4-film pack. I haven't seen Boy Eats Girl or Creep, but I have seen Drive-Thru and Tamara. Drive-Thru is pretty good. I like Drive-Thru a good amount. It's, it's kind of subpar in a way. It's not like top tier slasher stuff, but for the era that it came out in, it's pretty good. But then we have Tamara, which I don't know. It's just not as good. Also, I apologize if my hand is shaking a lot. There's nothing I can do to control that. I'm sorry, guys. And then 5 movies Freak Fest. I actually got this. My sister got this for me for Christmas last year. The only one I've seen on this one, or no, I actually watched 2. I think. Maybe. I don't remember. I remember watching Killers from Space. That movie's ridiculous. It's got like these people with these big bulging eyes. It's completely ridiculous. They're supposed to be aliens, It's stupid. It's enjoyable though. Alien. Doesn't actually say the title on the front cover. There you go. Cute. Yeah. Alien. Everyone knows Alien. In my opinion, Alien is a masterpiece. It's one of my favorites. The atmosphere in Alien is crazy. Just the sort of, I don't know, the whole film feels very cold. Like it gives you this cold, lonely feeling, which I'm sure they were going for, and I love that about that. It's also packed with suspense. Yeah, Alien, fun shit. Well, I don't know if it's fun because it is rather slow, but it's fun. I actually got to see that in theaters not too long ago, so that was pretty cool. And then we have the Alien 3-pack. It's got Alien 1, Aliens, and an Alien 3. Not as big on Aliens as I am on Alien. To some of you, that's like, yeah, no shit, and others, that's like blasphemy. Then, of course, I'm not a huge fan of Alien 3. I just saw that one recently for the first time, and I think it had potential, but I don't think it wasn't very good. And then we have All Hallows Eve. I actually am a pretty big fan of All Hallows Eve. This movie, I like it a lot, and I like it because the first time I ever saw All Hallows Eve, it scared the piss out of me. Art the Clown is absolutely terrifying. Fight me. Look at that face. If that face doesn't give you a heart attack, I don't know who you are. You must be one of those people that actually finds clowns funny. Like one of the 2 people left in existence. Alone in the Dark, I actually haven't seen Alone in the Dark. So, fun fact, before we get into Alice Kills. Fun fact, I buy movies at an alarming rate. And I do happen to have a job. And so I don't have a ton of time to watch said movies. However, I do buy movies a lot. And so there are a lot of movies in here that I have not seen. A lot of them I have, but a ton of them that I haven't. So just keep that in mind. I buy movies at a larger rate than I watch them. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. I don't want people like calling me a fake fan or anything. It's just I don't have all this freaking time in the world just to watch horror films, I wish I did. I wish that's, all I did, but well, among my other hobbies. Alice Kills, this one wasn't as good. I'm not a fan of it. These quotes got me really kind of pumped for the movie. Gory, fascinating, and revolting. Makes you wriggle and twist while on that dark journey. If you have a chance to see Alice Kills, do it. it got me pretty pumped for the film, but then I watched it and it wasn't as grotesque as I wanted it to be. It didn't have that. I don't know. I guess maybe I was expecting a strange sort of brutal slasher film, and that's not really how this film plays out. Uh, Realistically, there isn't a ton of death in this film, and there's only um, a few instances where the film really gets like super gory and nasty. American Beast, haven't seen it. American Nightmare, haven't seen it. And so I'm going to kind of make another excuse here. The reason I own a lot of this is because they're dollar store movies. And I mean, if I see a horror film for $1, I'm probably going to buy it. So, American Poltergeist, this one was pretty shit. Yeah, based on a true urban legend. It's ridiculous. This one was pretty shit, kind of porno acting. It's stupid. It's stupid. American Psycho, it's probably blasphemy, but I'm actually not huge on American Psycho. I know what the hell is the matter with me, but, there's something about the way that it kind of portrays all the stuff that happens in this film. Like kind of this, did it happen or didn't it? I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm usually not a fan of that in films. Alright, so the Amityville Horror. This is the original from 1979. This one I am a fan of. I really like the Amityville Horror. I'm a big fan of the story of the Amityville Horror. This is one that I can watch quite a bit without getting bored of. The Amityville Horror 2005 remake, have not seen it. Anaconda. It's a fun enough little movie, Ice Cube, Jon Voight. I think it's like Jennifer Lopez. Yeah, it's a fun enough little movie. It's not one that gets watched a ton in my collection. Now this is actually one of the first horror films that I ever saw, and make fun of that as you will in the comments. But, I remember I was over at one of my buddy's house when I first saw this film. I mean, I must have been in elementary school, and his mom was letting us watch it on television, and so sorry about that, guys. My dog was licking his paw on my bed, and I hate it when he does that because he makes a giant wet spot on the bed, and it's disgusting. How do I get him to stop that shit? I don't know. Anyway, on with the video. Anaconda's The Hunt for the Blood Orchid. So I remember watching this film at a friend's house. This was a long time ago, like I said, elementary school sort of years. And I remember the one shot that goes above the character's head when they're standing in waist-deep water. And you just see this snake slither by their waists, by their legs. And I remember that shot terrified me. That one particular shot terrified me, and that's how I've always remembered this film. And that's like partially why I keep it in the collection anyway. Like I don't ever watch Anaconda's Hunt for the Blood Orchid, but I always remember that shot. It's good shit. Well, I mean, the movie itself isn't good shit, but that shot is. An American Werewolf in London. Of course, one of the greatest werewolf films of all time. What can I say about this one that hasn't already been said? It's just one of those films. It's got a nice sense of humor. By the way, if you've never seen, or if you've never heard the Ice Nine Kills song, what's Love Bites? That's actually based on this film. And I don't know, in my opinion, it really does the film justice. I talked more about the Ice Nine Kills song than I did the actual film, but seriously, if you've never heard the Ice Nine Kills song "Love Bites," do yourself a favor and listen to it. It's a pretty good representation of the film. Kind of minus the comedic elements, because this film is very funny. But An American Werewolf in London, I also recommend the film if you haven't seen it, obviously. Anatomy, I just saw this film for the first time a few days ago, actually. It's pretty good. It's okay. It's alright. It's decent. Annabelle Creation. I mean, it's better than the first Annabelle movie, but that ain't really saying much. Notice I don't own the first Annabelle movie. Yeah. Wonder how long that'll honestly last. I don't have faith that it'll last long, honestly, or even, it won't last forever. But yeah, Annabelle Creation, it's decent. Night in the Woods, haven't seen it. Nightmare on Elm Street 1 through 4. 1 is amazing. I'm not a huge fan of the ending in number 1. 2, I'm not big on. Not big on 2. I think I've seen it once or twice. And then 3, I really enjoy Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Great film. And 4, actually, 4 very well could be my favorite Nightmare. I really like 4. There's something about it. And also, the thing with Nightmare on Elm Street 4, I don't know if you guys feel this way, or even if there is a film that you guys feel this way about, but Nightmare on Elm Street 4 for me is like the perfect pizza movie. I don't know why, and no, it has nothing to do with the fact that Freddy makes human pizza out of somebody. That soul food stuff. I don't know why, but 4 is always just wonderful pizza material. And then, of course, Nightmare on Elm Street 5 through Freddy vs. Jason. Not huge on 5. It's something about me with the 5th installments of franchises. I don't usually like them very much. I really kind of don't like 5. I haven't seen it in a couple of years because I remember it boring the hell out of me. And then Freddy's Dead. I know everyone hates Freddy's Dead. I actually really enjoy it. I think it's ridiculous and hilarious. Wes Craven's New Nightmare. It's pretty good. It's meta. Pretty good stuff. Freddy vs. Jason. I liked it. I know a lot of people weren't like the biggest fan of Freddy vs. Jason. But I have pretty low standards for movies, if I'm being entirely honest. Yeah, it's just fun stuff. Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake. Yeah, I own this. And I know what... Sorry about that. I literally dropped my movie because I'm an idiot. But I know what most of you are thinking. This movie sucks. Why do you own this movie? And that's because I don't hate this movie. I actually rather enjoy this movie. I think Jackie Earle Haley is really good as Freddy, and I think this movie goes some dark places that I just think it was really ballsy for this movie to go those dark places. Army of Darkness, of course. Such a great flick. One that I rewatch over and over again. I find this movie hysterical. It really is just very funny film. And I'm not a fan of the decision to get rid of the chainsaw arm in favor of a mechanical arm. Like who wrote that? Who wrote that in? Like, really? Really, guys? I don't know. The chainsaw arm is just so much cooler. As Above, So Below. I've seen it once. It was okay. It was standard found footage kind of stuff. Honestly, it felt a little like the Blair Witch Project in the sense that, they're kind of getting turned around down in this place, and the place kind of fucking with their perception a little bit. But it's pretty good. Astral. I thought this film sounded a little like Insidious, and so it did pique my interest. It did pique my interest. However, I can tell you that Astral Blows. This movie is boring. Nothing happens in this film. Do not waste your time or money. Oop. Yeah. Attack of the Puppet People. I have not seen it. Automaton Transfusion. Okay. Let me tell you a little something about Automaton Transfusion. And that is that it has the greatest title of all time. Like, are you kidding me? Automaton Transfusion. Don't tell me that doesn't sound completely badass. Unfortunately, the film is not as good as the title. It was kind of a long shot that it would be because, I mean, look at that title. But, yeah, it was okay. It had some good gore. It ends on a cliffhanger, which, of course, is never going to get resolved because this movie is super low budget. So, it's Automaton Transfusion 2, not ever coming to theaters near you. Ever. Avalanche Sharks. Are you kidding me? What was I supposed to do? Not buy a movie called Avalanche Sharks? That's awesome. I've not seen it because I just recently acquired it. I'm kind of waiting until it gets a little snowy. I like my seasonal movies. Bad Milo. Bad Milo is a beautiful story about a man and his ass gremlin. And it's heartwarming. It's truly touching. It gets deep inside you, just like Milo. Now, Bad Milo is pretty fun. It's pretty good. The Banana Splits movie. This is fun slasher movie type shit, I always thought it was a really good idea for them to base a slasher film on a children's television show, because we all find those little animated creatures friggin' freaky, right? Like in every kid's TV show. Like if this would have been a Barney movie too, Barney the slasher would have made way too much sense. I'm satisfied with Banana Splits though. That was pretty cool. These killer robots just going around and kind of fucking shit up. It's fun. The Banished, have not seen it yet. Beetlejuice. Who doesn't love Beetlejuice, honestly? Michael Keaton is just incredible as Beetlejuice. It's Alec Baldwin, right? Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis are both really likable in this film. Along with, God, what's her face? Yeah, the chick who plays Lydia Dietz. One who went a little crazy later in life. I think she did anyway. But anyway, she's really good in this film too. Just a fun film all around. And, it's one you can show the kids. My nephew loves this film. So, Beetlejuice, cool stuff. Bela Lugosi 3-pack. With White Zombie, their corpse vanishes and Scared to Death. Only one I haven't seen is Scared to Death. White Zombie, I don't remember being huge on. The Corpse Vanishes was pretty decent, though. The Belko Experiment. Meh. I mean, it's pretty much what you expect. Just Office Royale sort of shit. Beneath Loch Ness, haven't seen it. Beyond the Gates, pretty fun stuff. Kind of a killer board game sort of film. I like it. And, has Barbara Crampton in it, and that's always a plus, because, I can't get over how eternally beautiful Barbara Crampton is. She is, I swear to God, she is sexy for life. What's she now, 60? And she is still freaking rocking. I'm sorry, I cannot get over how beautiful that woman is at all times. The Birds, good Alfred Hitchcock shit, The scene where the chick walks in walks in on the room and the guy has eyeballs picked out. That's disturbing stuff. Good stuff. The Black Cat. This is the Stuart Gordon adaptation from the Masters of Horror series. Have not seen it. Black Magic. Have not seen it. Blair Witch and Blair Witch Project and Blair Witch. I definitely prefer the Blair Witch Project to Blair Witch. Sorry about that, guys. I think I personally feel like the Blair Witch Project, just with the ambiguity of kind of what's going on, and it doesn't really show you a whole ton, which I really enjoy. I know a lot of people kind of harp on this movie for that, but I don't know. I personally am much bigger on the Blair Witch Project than I am Blair Witch. I think Blair Witch shows too much. I think it explains too much, and it has like 9 bullshit jump scares. So, I don't know. Blair Witch Project all the way. That's actually my favorite found footage movie. I think it's a lot scarier than people give it credit for, like, as a film. Like, I'm not looking at this from a nostalgia perspective where, like, I heard about it in 1999 when it was coming out, and, everyone was going, oh, this movie's real, this movie's real. I'm not looking at it through that perspective because I I wasn't even born in 1999. So I genuinely like the film the way it is. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that, but Blair Witch 2, I just bought this recently, have not seen it. Blood, have not seen it. Blood Junkie, on the other hand, I have seen. Not my favorite film, honestly. When they're trying to be really over the top and just silly with the characters, I think it works pretty well. However, it's just not, I don't know, it doesn't commit to that. It just, I don't know, it, like, another film, Legend of the Psychotic Forest Ranger, I feel like does what Blood Junkie was kind of trying to do, but it does it much better. And the twist in the film makes absolutely no sense. I'm not gonna blame the movie too much for its twist, though, because frankly, it's a trauma film and it's meant to be shitty. So, like, I understand the twist wasn't really supposed to make a ton of sense. So I give it a pass there, but because I kind of understand that, the twist was supposed to be as ridiculous as the rest of the film. So it's not, I don't know, the twist isn't that big of a deal. It's just kind of a thing where it's like, if it were any other film, I would have hated that twist. But since it were this film, it's like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have to. It's supposed to be hilariously over the top and just not make any sense. So, not a huge fan of Blood Junkie, but it's, it's fun. Blood Lake, have not seen it. Bloodlust. I'm not a fan of this, honestly. I've seen it once. I saw it like once in junior high. I remember thinking it was the cheesiest shit of all time. Like this guy right here. It's the old Deadly Game story where this millionaire hunts people. And I don't know. It's just not great. And he has like these henchmen and these striped shirts. It seemed like an episode of the old Adam West Batman shit. So not great. Not great, that one there. Of course, without Batman. But Bloody Bloody Bible Camp. This is what Blood Junkie should have been. Bloody Bloody Bible Camp is amazing. This film is hilarious, and it's gory as all living hell. Bloody Bloody Bible Camp is what low-budget slashers should be. And honestly, the killer's creepy. Like in that early 80s sort of prom night, tapping a pencil on a pad, getting frustrated sort of way. It's a very specific creepiness, but it is a very effective creepiness. And I don't know, it worked very well in the film, and the film works very well all around, in my opinion. I really appreciate the humor in it. I know not everybody, rather, is huge on the type of humor that this movie has to offer, but I am. I love it. And, of course, the kills in that movie are great. The Boat, have not seen it. Bone Jangles, have not seen it. Seems interesting, but Bone Tomahawk, this is a really cool Western horror flick. I do recommend this if you have not seen it. Pretty brutal stuff towards the end. Boo, I have heard this movie is absolute shit. Of course, I heard that after I bought it. But I only bought it for $1, so, Dollar Tree shit. Boogeyman, Boogeyman 2, and Boogeyman 3. I don't remember Boogeyman 3, at all. I'm sure I've seen it. I'm pretty sure I've seen it. The first Boogeyman, I used to watch a lot when I was a kid, for lack of options, because, I was allowed to watch PG-13, and Boogeyman was PG-13, so I watched it, but not the greatest film of all time. Boogeyman 2 is a little bit better. It's more straight-up slasher shit, so that's interesting. But Boogeyman 3, I don't remember at all. Bordello of Blood, holy shit, this movie is fun. Great vampire flick. Just sexy vampire chicks and over-the-top jokes and awesome stuff. The Boy, haven't seen it. The Boy, haven't seen it. The Breed, haven't seen it. I'm sorry, guys. Bride of Scarecrow, haven't seen it. Brightburn, this was a pretty good one. It essentially is the Superman story, but if Superman was a bad guy. It literally is that. I'm surprised that they did not get sued for making this movie. That's how crazy the similarities are. And it is fun. It is fun. I really hope that they kind of expand on kind of that Brightburn universe that they were trying to do. I'd be really interested in seeing the Aquaman, their equivalency to Aquaman and Batman. Broken, have not seen it. And the last film of the shelf here, George A. Romero's Bruiser. I've seen this film once. I remember thinking it was kind of underrated at the time, and then I kind of stewed on it for a little bit, and I just, for whatever reason, the more and more I thought about it, the less and less I liked it. But I don't know. I'm going to have to give this one a rewatch at some point, because I do remember it being a very odd film, and I don't know. I think I probably need to watch it again for it to fully digest. But anyway, that's... Oh, let me get out of that corner there, if I can get a better view of it. The first shelf. Sorry about the glare, guys. Kind of giving you sneak peeks on shelves to come, too. But, that's going to be the video, guys. My arms are getting friggin' tired. And I'm sure you can hear I'm getting exasperated because I am so incredibly out of shape. It's not even funny. I'm expecting heart failure to kick in at any second now. But yeah, there's the first shelf of the collection. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you on the next one.